new face of professional wrestling.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Feast or Fired for the July 24th, 2002 pay-per-view of TNA Wrestling. I'm here with my wife.
Hello.
Right, and we're going to be going over the show. So, excited for this one, sweetie?
I already know what my score is on this, but yeah, sure.
Is that even with you finding out the thing you've been wanting to know for weeks now?
Yes, that is.
Okay.
I forgot about that.
All right. So, show opens. Chef Jarrett's already in the ring with the chair. I actually thought this was a clip from like another show, but I did not realize that they had changed locations to the Tennessee Fairgrounds for this show. So I didn't. It took me a little bit to put two and two together and realize we were actually watching the opening of this program. Calls out Ken Shamrock. Says he's not going to leave the ring until he gets his title. Then we see that security's already trying to stop Shamrock from coming out for whatever reason, and Shamrock starts attacking the security. He locks them in a room somehow, and then has some buff dude stand guard that we've never seen before. It took me several times hearing what the heck his name was, and I'm still not positive. I have it written several times in my notes, and each time it's different. I have Brick Wall, Iron Brit. I don't know what his nickname was.
I know what my nickname for him is.
Actual name was Ian Harrison. We didn't learn that until later. But yeah, just some big buff British dude.
Honestly, I thought he was Australian.
Judging by his tights, I don't think so.
Well, yeah, judging by his tights, but like his accent, I thought he was Australian. My bad.
You know, Australians used to be Brits, right?
I know.
All right. No, not all Australians have that. Have that stereotypical accent. That's actually very uncommon. A very uncommon accent. It's just got popular by like, Crocodile Dundee and Steve Irwin. Though he might have exaggerated a bit. I have no idea. All right, so the vice president comes out. He's suspending Jeff Jarrett for, what was it, 60 or 90 days?
90.
90 days? I guess Jeff Jarrett decided he had nothing to lose at that point and hits the vice president over the head with an unprotected chair shot, which was weird to watch do to someone who's not even a wrestler. Of course, so I'm also used to like modern WWE where we don't do chair shots anymore, so. Shamrock finally runs out to the ring to fight Jarrett. Eventually, we see Apollo and Monty Brown come out to break things up. Jarrett does manage to get a chair shot in on Shamrock before things are completely stabilized. K-Crush and Brian Lawler both also come out. They don't really get into the fight, but there is a bit of a standoff, and then we see them walking away. At this point in time, I was wondering if we'd even have the title match for your promise last week tonight. Turns out we do, though, thankfully. No, sort of. Right?
Yeah, sort of.
All right. Anything else to add, sweetie?
Nope.
All right, moving into the first match of the night is Amazing Red making his TNA debut versus Low Key. We're gonna get to see a bunch more of both these guys, at least for a while, because they're both pretty big staples of the X division in TNA for a bit. This is the first time I noted the arena looks and feels so much smaller because I didn't than what they had previously had. I have to assume it's because their location just limits how much capacity they have, but it also makes the show feel a lot more low rent. Fortunately, so you're not getting as big a crowd reactions or anything. So any of that gets added to the experience is taken away when you have such a smaller arena with fewer people. All right, so we get to see an early exchange of kicks and arm drags. Eventually, Loki gets kicked to the outside. After that, we see a fake out dive from Amazing Red. Then he does an hurricanrana off the apron on to the outside onto Loki. I don't know how I have it written. All right, no, he like flips to the outside and hits Loki with a hurricanrana. That's how it actually happened.
All I know is
it was a lot of really cool spots in this, but
they're really agile.
Early on, for the most part, Red's in control. He does a lot of the flipping, more agile type maneuvers. That's a lot of his offense is the higher risk stuff that we see, kind of like you would see with like more common luchadors. It feels like a lot like a what's it called? Technico versus. Ah man, I don't remember the other thing is, but it's like the classic like heel babyface type like match. Just without masks. Once the momentum slipped, once Loki gets the momentum back in his favor with a sort of a front flip kick, he slows down the pace of the match, hits a lot of strikes and submission holds for his offense. There was a really cool spot where Loki puts Red in the corner and he climbs up with him, and then they're hanging upside down on the corner together with Loki choking him out. That was a neat, unique submission hold there. Obviously, can't get a victory that way because you're touching the ropes and all that, but still, it was cool to see. Momentum flips back into Red's control. I think Red goes for his finisher, but unfortunately he misses, and then with that, Loki very quickly gets his key crusher in and gets the victory. Opening match, really good. Amazing Red's only like 20 here, and he is, as his name suggests, amazing.
I have nothing to add.
I really wish you had more to say, because it doesn't feel like a combined effort unless you've got something to add.
Well, I mean, they're both agile. Like, they did some really cool flips, and like I was amazed by that. Outside of that, wrestling has never been my big thing, hun.
Okay, but like throw in some comments about like positives and negatives, possibly. Anything you take major note of.
Yeah, I didn't really take.
All right. We go to the back. We see Jeff Jarrett confronting the big British dude. They just kind of exchange words and agree to at some point have a match, sort of. I guess.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about
Just I was really mostly just filler at that point. All right, match number 2 of the night. Hot Shots versus America's Most Wanted. I'm still going to call them America's Most Wanted, even though they've not started calling themselves that. But because of this segment, we get two things. One, we get apparently Chris Harris is trying to get James Storm to quit off with the like over the top cowboy gimmick, which I'm fully in support of. Because it's silly. And then we also get the answer as to who attacked Storm and Harris in the back from the third episode. So, what was it, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty long.
It was the third show. This is the 6th?
Yeah.
All right, so we found out it was the Hot Shots, which consists of Cassidy O'Reilly and Chase Stevens. Well, I mean, At the time of the attack, we were considering, well, who could it be? And at that point, we had not even been introduced to these guys yet. I don't think. So, like, we wouldn't have suspected them. Obviously, attack in the back like that, where we don't see what happens, is not the best way to not the best way to, like, bring in a debuting team. I don't think it's necessarily strong storytelling, but at least we have an answer now.
Yeah, ow. I was happy with even they're made almost in the.
Okay. Well, the match starts. Storm and one of the hot shots. I have it written as Chase, but I'm actually not positive at that point which one it was. I was getting Cassidy and Chase mixed up throughout the entire match, and I know they don't look exactly the same, but like I was not 100% positive which one they are, and I don't think the commentary team did a good job of making sure we understood which one was which either. I swear to God, they've called them both names.
Yeah, I think this is roughly where we got lost. Because I think right before this is when, or like right in the middle of this is when Dante called.
It doesn't really matter.
So, like, I got completely, like, disinterested, like, right away.
All right. Well, America's Most Wanted has the early advantage. We see quite a few tags back and forth with them taking control. Eventually, Storm goes to the outside and gets beat up a bit. Then we also see once the momentum switches to the other team that the Hot Shots do some double teaming moves on Storm. We see a lot of early pin attempts as well from the Hot Shots. A lot more double teaming. Eventually, Chase goes for a moonsault. Storm's out of the way. We finally get a hot tag after that.
What's a hot tag?
A hot tag is usually when someone has been getting beat up for quite a while with very little offense back, and he tags in his partner who runs in, usually at a with the crowd like cheering him, and he usually fights off the other two members of the team, which is what happens here. Eventually, Harris hits his Northern Lights suplex to get a victory, and then afterwards, the Hot Shots, the losing team, beat up AMW and even used the fake pistols as weapons to beat him up. And then we switch, after that segment's done, they have basically left Storm and Harris laying. So they got their heat back. Go to the back, see that a trainer is checking in Ken Shamrock. He comes to a bit, dazed, then apparently realizes where he is and grabs the trainer and starts threatening him and asking where Jarrett is.
That poor.
Yeah, Shamrock's really being portrayed as someone who's like lost his mind right now.
And he's supposed to be a face?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. I mean, at this point in time, Jarrett's sunglasses.
I guess I understand somewhat. He has mostly been like punked out by Jarrett repeatedly.
Okay, first off, sunglasses has gotten screwed over so many flippin' times.
Yeah, I've said before, I don't understand why they're doing the let's screw Jeff Jarrett even though he's supposed to be a heel thing.
Like, see, I could understand them screwing over Sean Austin lookalike or Eddie Gordo because, like, I feel like they really have done nothing with them outside of having them taunt other people and kind of get their butts kicked. I'm not 100% sure. But, like, I feel like sunglasses, he's had what? He had the one big, the royal, the main one, the title thingy.
Title thingy.
For the belt, for Ric Flair's belt. That I think is now Sideburns.
Are you talking about the Battle Royal?
Yes, that one, the Battle Royal.
All three of them were in it.
Yeah, he's had the Battle Royale, and then he had the one against I think it was Cough Drop.
Scott Hall.
Yeah, after, Toby Keith screwed him over, and I don't think he's had a match since then. Like, since the second week, because every time he's about to, something happens. Like, he gets screwed over. Like, I don't blame him for being peeved.
I suppose not, but he's also repeatedly been attacking people.
Because he's peeved.
Even before that, though.
No more than, like...
He had already started when he was made the first one in the Battle Royale.
I'm not a
Well,
big
I understand that puts the odds against him. That still, at the same time, is also... Someone's got to be number one.
Just so we're all clear, he's not my favorite. Malice is still my favorite. He has the coolest name. And, I mean, he loses, like, everything he goes into. But he's still my favorite because of his name. Get a cool name, I like you the best.
Okay.
Apparently that's how it goes.
Tempest and Slash? Not as cool.
No, not really.
All right.
I do also like the Flying Elvises because they're awesome. 2 out of the 3. I don't like Sunny.
Okay. You don't like Siaki?
No, I don't. I like the other ones.
All right. All right. Match number 3. Apollo versus Brian Lawler. At this point in time, I realized why they did the segment earlier and why it was Monty Brown and Apollo that came out to break up the fight. Because apparently they already set up that they were going to have matches tonight, or at least this one match. I also expected K Crush and Monty Brown to have a match, though we'll get more development on. Not a match tonight, but more development. All right. What?
Sorry, I'm laughing about one of my notes later on.
All right.
I don't have much
All
about
right.
this one. Again, I lost so much focus.
All right. Well, that's a pretty simple match. A little too slow for my pace. I don't know why that is. Lawler is not a bad wrestler, but for whatever reason, when he's in control, he's slow in this. He does a scoop slam on Apollo real early. Apollo looks unamused. Apollo gets to show off his strength, which is pretty nice. Really early on, we get a bunch of standoffs. Throughout the match, it's mostly just Lawler being cocky and Apollo getting over on him because of that. Eventually, behind the rest back, we do see that Lawler uses a chain to choke out Apollo. Following that, mostly just a lot of, when he's in control, mostly just Lawler having a lot of long rest holds, and him getting upset over Jerry's kids chant.
What's up with Sean Austin lookalike and Eddie Gordo choking people?
I don't know. Well, it's a heel thing.
Oh, okay. So again, Sunglasses hasn't done that yet. So I'm assuming he's not a heel yet.
He's a heel. I can tell you he's a heel.
Well, you've seen all of this.
I could tell you he's a heel without seeing this. Or, I mean, with only seeing what we have both seen.
I don't know. He seems like a face.
He's not supposed to be.
Well, I think he's a face.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It gets more muddied later. It's like right now it's pretty clear to me.
Okay, here's a question. Is Stylus and Jerry Lynn considered faces, or are they heels?
AJ Styles would be a face. Jerry Lynn is teetering on the side.
Okay, yeah. Those two fought each other. So
I don't know. I think they're building a rivalry. I'm not sure if we're supposed to necessarily have one be a face or a heel because they've both done shitty things.
Yes, they have.
Tweener? I guess they're tweeners right now. That's actually a thing.
Okay, fine. Fine. Sunglasses is tweener. How about that? I'll meet you halfway.
He's a heel.
You're not even willing to meet me halfway. Fine, be a dick.
No, because I know better.
Whatever. Continue with the Apollo and Sean
You're sidetracking from this match.
See? This is
all right. Yeah, this is when I
unfocused.
actually noted that the match had been kind of slow paced. After the time that Apollo starts firing up, because when Apollo gets in control, the match actually picks up and is a lot more entertaining. We get a bunch of exchange of reversals, ending it with Apollo hitting a really nice super kick. Apparently, in that super kick, Brian cut his lip or something because he's bleeding from the mouth.
Is that when he spits out his His I'm gonna call it a retainer, but that's not the right word.
Mouth guard, and I don't remember
yeah.
if that was him or something else or someone, or I don't remember if that was him or whenever that happened. I don't have it written down, so I don't remember what
I
it was and when it happened.
I didn't have it written down either. I just remember.
Yeah, it's not that big a deal.
It really isn't.
Okay. At the actual finish comes with Lawler showboating, doing his stupid dancing, kind of just haunting the fans, and then we get Apollo hit get him in a schoolboy to get a surprise pin in victory. Brian, following this, looks completely beside himself over his loss, like he almost looks like he wants to cry. Then we get a argument where he goes out and he goes to the commentary table. We hear Don West say that it was still a good effort, and he basically attacks Don West over that because he's a sore loser.
I have a stupid question.
What?
Okay, he doesn't like being known as Jerry Lawler's son.
Yes.
Why did he change his stage name from
Brian Christopher to Brian Lawler.
Yeah.
All right. I think it was last week. The commentary team tried to explain this, though it's a really weak explanation. But the explanation that they actually gave was that he intends to make the name more famous than his father ever made.
Oh. Okay. That's a stupid reason, but okay.
We actually did cover that last week.
I
think.
Apparently zoned out.
All right. All right. Next segment, K-Crush comes to the ring.
Sorry, this is what I was laughing about earlier.
Based upon this and everything else we've seen, I have to assume that all three of the main heels are just insane people because we keep on seeing them doing over the top, like, insane bullshit attacks on people. Because I thought of this as they were replaying K-Crush doing, like, choking people out with his belt.
No,
both Smiley and Scott Hall.
This is whenever he came out and he's like, I'm going to be the truth.
Well, no, I was just noting this because they showed the replay.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's apparently K-Crush is changing his name. So I have to assume this is when they're going to start referring to him as Ron the Truth Killings.
Just so we're all clear.
Even though he just calls himself the Truth here.
Just so we're all clear, I am still going to call him Eddie Gordo. And that's even what my note is, which is why I was, like, laughing so hard. Because I'm so stupid.
I noticed someone has a shut up and wrestle sign. I'm like, that's really funny considering how true that actually needs, how bad some of the Impact episodes are with how much wrestling is on them versus talking.
Oh my god, the first one.
No, I'm talking about Impact, their TV. Years down the line.
Oh, well, we're not there yet. That's not fair. You have out of player knowledge. I don't know the other term.
I noted it because I found it funny.
Oh, okay.
I also noticed that, like, he's talking about how he's not going to play by the rule. I don't mind this. Actually, I don't mind anything of what they're doing with Truth right now. They basically have him set up. They have him as a heel that's fighting against, that's claiming he's fighting against a system that hates him. But it's supposed to be, but it's in story. It's supposed to be that he's imagining that he's being held back. Obviously, because it doesn't make sense that he would be such a high valued star and yet, like, no one wants to capitalize on that and make money. Obviously,
I will admit, like, he's not bad as far as, like, flips and stuff. Like,
I was just saying that this is like this is the most compelling, like, story right now.
In all honesty, I just hate his attitude. Like, he would probably be one of my favorites.
Well, I mean, his attitude is there the way it is because he's a heel.
I understand that, but, like, Sunglass is supposedly a heel, and he's not terrible.
Okay, well, the story here is, and what he's implying is that basically he's black and people hate black people. So he's not getting opportunities because he's black. Enter Monty Brown.
Who's also.
Yeah. The alpha male Monty Brown is also a black. He comes out there and basically makes a point about how he has been given nothing, but because he has worked so hard, it has created opportunity for him, and that it's the people that R-Truth is claiming is such a problem and holding him back because he's black that has allowed Monty to have these opportunities. So it's basically saying that, your claims are racist and
Doesn't he choke him out?
No, he doesn't.
Okay, then I think I imagined that.
But no, this I know as far as a non-wrestling segment, this was the best one of the night, and I loved it. Actually, really liked this showdown between Monty Brown and R-Truth, or he's R-Truth now, but God, it just makes me wish that Monty Brown had remained in wrestling for a lot longer, because by like 2005 or 6, he's done, and he gets out of TNA after a few years too, because he goes to WWE. So we're not gonna even get to see him past like 2004.
I'm sorry, who?
Monty Brown, the alpha male.
Oh, okay. I was actually reading something that I put.
But yeah, it ends up with Monty basically challenging Truth to a match, or like right here and now. But obviously, it doesn't happen. Truth basically says, I don't have any problems with you, but you're in my way, so he attacks him. But Monty Brown basically overpowers him, hits his alpha bomb, and that closes the segment out. It was pretty awesome. As I said, for a non match, this was like the best part of the night. At this point, I'm actually pretty high on the show. If this show ends after the 4th match, this show is fantastic.
You know what? I'll agree to that.
Even with how slow the Apollo match.
Bad.
Following this, the commentary team sets up an interview that Mike Tenay has with Jerry Lynn and AJ Styles.
Oh, I thought the interview was super sweet. Yeah,
too bad the first time they tried playing it, there was no sound.
Yeah, I noticed that, and I was so worried that I just went deaf.
No. They restarted it this time with sound. Obviously, there was a mistake. I give TNA credit for not editing their mistakes out of the shows. So, at least that means to me that I'm seeing this as authentic as it was when it aired. Because it would have been so easy to just cut out that like 2 to 3 seconds that they just played it with no sound, and just slice it and put the two halves back, or halves back together, just not had that fuck up. But it gives me the feeling that I'm watching this as if I was watching this 20 years ago, with the authenticity, just obviously just not paying a pay-per-view price every week to watch it.
You were watching wrestling in your teens?
This is around the time I started watching wrestling. This is around the time I started watching for sure.
Okay.
I started very shortly before John Cena debuted, and John Cena debuted the same month that TNA did.
All right, whatever. I just didn't realize that you watched it in your teens.
Yeah.
I thought this was something that you didn't really start doing until you hit your 20s.
No.
Okay.
No, I had been watching it for years by the time I went WrestleMania and stuff.
Never been.
You don't need to.
I don't want to.
I just find it funny that my dad worked WrestleMania 3 as a paramedic, and I went to 23 as a fan.
Yeah.
So both me and my father have been to WrestleMania.
For 2 different reasons.
Maybe in 2 different reasons, but my dad was at WrestleMania.
All right, continue.
All right. This interview goes on. All right. It shows basically AJ Styles saying he understands Lynn's perspective, and he's going to show him respect from going on. Lynn saying he understands Styles' perspective and said he probably went a little bit overboard on how mean he was about it. So they act like the problems between them have been settled. I write that I doubt it at this point.
Like I said, it was super sweet because it looked like they were like, you know what? I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry too. And then bro hug, which they don't actually do, but I imagined it happen.
Wouldn't it be funny if they hugged each other with Tenay just trapped in the center?
It would have been funny. I should have wrote for this show 20 years ago. It would have been so much better.
Maybe. We wouldn't have the dups.
Oh my god, I would write them out super fast.
Okay. All right, match number 4 of the night. Tag Team Championship, Lynn and Styles defending their titles against the Flying Elvises. This particular case, in the ring tonight is going to be Jimmy Yang and Jorge Estrada. And then Siaki sits in commentary, where he is insufferable.
Yeah, I at one point in time, he said Sonny like so many times. I was like, if I hear the name Sonny one more time, I'm going to hate
Sonny
something.
Siaki, I understand that what they're pushing is for him to cause a breakup of the team, and he's supposed to be the one getting the solo push.
You know, I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine
It's
with
coming. I know it's coming. Even without knowing it's coming, I know it's coming.
I would be
It sounds so weird to say that.
I would be perfectly fine if Sonny Siaki left Estrada, which I realize I'm still saying his name wrong, and
Jimmy Yang.
Yang together. I would be fine with those two as a tag team because like they actually like
the worst part of this match was that first half where Sonny Siaki wouldn't shut the fuck.
Yeah, like those two like actually like do a lot of the Elvis stuff. Like the only bad thing about Yang, sorry.
It's hard because later he goes by Jimmy Wang Yang.
Oh, okay. So I'm just so we're clear,
But he also has a cowboy gimmick then, so.
Oh my. I did not know he went by a Wang Yang, so me trying to call him Wang had nothing to do with that. I'm just super horrible with names, hence why I give everybody nicknames. Like those two actually, Estrada and Yang, actually do everything like the Elvis thing, and like they're really into it. Again, the only bad thing about Yang is the fact that he doesn't have a pompadour like Estrada. Estrada. How do you pronounce his last name again?
Estrada.
Yeah, because I have an H.
Estrada.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna call him Estrada because like Jorge sounds like an H even though it's a J, and Estrada. So he's a Estrada.
It's a J and a G actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I think his name is spelled Jorge.
Okay, yeah, like but the beginning part is J.
Yeah.
But it's pronounced like with an H because.
Yes, yes, because it's Spanish. All right.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Starting the match. The match itself was fine. Siaki sucks as far as. Okay, he's not a bad wrestler. I'm gonna say that. No, he detracts from the match from his incessant like pushing of himself. But like the match itself is fine. All right.
I know.
Estrada and Lynn start off. We get to see the gory special from Lynn, which is pretty cool.
I noted that Estrada does some really cool flips, and Jerry Lynn also did some cool flips.
Yeah.
So.
Lynn and Styles are completely on track together early on, making tags, keeping it into control. We finally get a head scissors from Estrada on one of them to get the tag into Yang. Yang shows off that he's extremely agile. Most of his maneuvers include flipping.
Yeah, and he did like a little bit of the Elvis thingy, like the hip.
Yeah.
And I love it. I really do. It's so funny. I hated them at first. I hated these three.
All right, so we end up with Yang and Styles. Styles jumps out of the corner to go for a flying body press. I don't know if this was just because Yang was so far out that he knew he wasn't going to make it, or if this was actually planned, but he kneels and makes Styles land across his knee, which looks like he landed hard, but man, they kept going. That was how he got control over the match. Eventually, he throws Styles to the outside. With a distraction, Siaki attacks Styles. And that's when, basically, the Flying Elvises take over the control of most of this match.
I don't know when this happened, but at one point in time, Jerry Lynn, I think, was...
This is, I know what you're going
okay.
about, but that's near the end.
When...
We're not quite there yet.
Okay, I mean, if you know what I'm talking about.
Between like some moves trying to put away Styles and submission hold, eventually at one point there's a pin attempt on Styles. It's like right on the edge of the ring, right next to the ropes, because of how they're positioned though. When the referee goes to go count it, he slides down and almost falls completely out of the ring.
I missed that.
It was hilarious.
Oh my gosh, I missed that.
He stops, he hits the first count, then his legs keep going, and he clings onto the edge of the ring as he hits the second count to try to not fall out of the ring and onto his face. It was really funny.
We need to rewatch that. I have no problem rewatching this match.
Yeah, it was a good match.
I like this match.
Not my favorite match of the night, but it was a good match.
This one was my favorite one.
My favorite match of the night might actually have been the Monty. I don't know. I'm just a huge fan of his, so I have no idea. It could just be bias.
No, see, this one I even wrote like an entire paragraph, which
Right.
I never write.
Following this, though, AJ tries to go for a tag after he gets off a move. Estrada runs across the ring, knocks Lynn off to prevent the tag. I noticed it was almost 5 minutes go by with AJ Styles basically just the entire time.
Oh yeah, he did. He took so much.
It looks like Yang busted his nose at some point in this match. I don't know how that happened, but
Oh yeah, I forgot about the nose.
that wasn't planned, obviously.
I don't think any of the blood part was.
Eventually, Lynn does get a hot tag, takes out both the Elvises. Does a sunset flower.
Try that again.
He does a sunset flip powerbomb from the corner onto Estrada to go for the pin. Yang breaks that up. That's when they start attacking. But he manages to knock them both to the outside, or knock someone. He knocks Yang to the outside. He dives. He does a dive onto Yang. Estrada follows up, does an Asai moonsault to hit both of them, and then after that, AJ Styles finally has recovered enough. He goes for a spiral leap over the top rope onto them, but Siaki pulls the Elvises out of the way and
He pushes them out.
However, he managed to get them out of the way. Styles only lands on Lynn. And apparently that busted Lynn open.
Oh yeah.
Because after that, Styles back in the ring. Lynn was on the outside. The Elvises kept trying. The Elvises kept kicking Lynn off every time he tried to crawl back in, and he just was bleeding. His face was just covered in blood.
And you think that was on purpose?
Yeah, that was a blade job.
Really?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Usually, when people are bleeding like that, they cut themselves. Okay. It's supposed to look like a move cut them open, but they do cut themselves. Yeah, almost rare unless it's an accident like with Yang's nose or Lawler's lip. Usually when they're bleeding from the head, it's almost entirely them using a little razor blade to cut themselves open.
Cutting themselves.
It's usually planned. There's very few instances where you'll see that and it's either not planned previously or was done without the use of a razor blade. A couple notable examples was there was a match between Undertaker and Brock Lesnar at one point where they both bladed, but it was never planned for the match, and they both got in deep shit for that. Because this is the PG era and they weren't supposed to be bleeding.
Well, it's not like they meant to.
No, they meant to. WWE didn't know they were going to do it.
Oh, that's a oopsies.
And there was also a time where Brock Lesnar legitimately used his elbow to break open Randy Orton's. But that was actually planned. But yeah, there was no blade involved in that one. He cut him open with his elbow.
That's some talent. That's some sharp elbows.
He did it in one go. It was impressive. Anyways, the finish finally comes when Lynn finally manages to get back in the ring after fighting off Estrada.
Yeah, it's Estrada.
Oh yeah, he does that. He does the thing where he hangs Estrada over the rope and does the guillotine leg drop and gets the pin. AJ Styles was about to hit the spiral tap on Yang, but Lynn and Estrada were the actual legal men at this point. Yeah. So he got the win legitimately as the legal man, and Styles was upset because he was going for the spiral tap, I guess. Didn't get his move in. So he just walks away and leaves Lynn laying there bleeding, even though they won. So yeah, that's what I meant by they've both been kind of shitty towards each other. Because now we see AJ Styles being an asshole. I like the story they're telling. I like this rivalry they're setting up. I don't know how they're going to get the tag titles off of them.
Kind of wish that it was going to go to the, Elvises.
I don't, just because I know they're breaking up.
No!
You know they're breaking up because of what they're doing with Siaki. It's nothing to do with outside knowledge.
I know, but I was hoping that Yang and Estrada would stay.
This is my issue, though. It's like, we have one team that doesn't get along, and they're the champions, and, like, the current team that they could possibly take the titles off of them that they had going for it was another team that's on the rocks.
Aww. The only one I hope does not get it is the Dubs.
Okay, I'm going to say this. Having the titles on them facilitates the story, but it wasn't good for the belts.
I don't know what that means.
Having the tag team titles on a couple of guys who are at each other's throats doesn't work unless the story is supposed to be that in the end they're going to be an even better tag team for it. But we know that's not the case. But I know that's not the case for these two. So it would have served the tag titles much better to be put on a team that's more solid. So it would have been better if, like, America's Most Wanted had it.
I was gonna say Country Singer and his partner.
Who I don't know why they made this decision. As I said, it facilitates the story between Lynn and Styles, but it doesn't do the tag division any.
Well, they got that in the second episode?
Third.
First
episode they crowned the world champion. Second episode they crowned the X Division champion. Third episode they crowned the tag.
Okay, so Country Singer and his partner they were supposed to go in for it, but
yeah, the Hot Shots attacked him backstage.
Okay,
Yeah. Because that's the thing you've been wondering about, who attacked them and that made them all bloody so they couldn't compete.
Yeah, I don't understand why they still couldn't compete.
The idea was that they wouldn't be cleared. They were in.
Okay.
All right. Next segment, Disco Inferno's on a couch on the stage.
I hated this.
Talks about his accomplishments. Most of them are embellished, if not fabricated.
Sorry, my line is, an annoying dude is talking, saying something along the lines that he looks good, but I think he's extremely ugly.
Yeah, I don't know. He was more handsome in WC. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
He just looks off here.
That's like my one note of it.
He just looks like a plain dude in this segment. It might be just because of how he's presented. I have no idea.
I just like I don't even remember what he was talking about because like I was so focused.
I mean, I'm glad they don't have him set up in like full Disco Inferno garb because he would look like a member of the Flying Elvises almost. A forgotten fourth member, Disco Inferno. But yeah, no, apparently he's here to do a weekly segment where he mentors other people called Jive Talking. We'll see how long that lasts.
Oh, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah. Who the hell is crying?
I think that is Lucy for food because she thinks that since we're down here, we're going to give her food.
I don't know.
Even though she has food upstairs. Rat cat.
All right, fifth match of the night. I noticed they've been doing mostly 7 matches every week. I noticed that too.
You know what? For some odd reason, and this is like happening on like 80% of my notes, I get up to the 4th match and then like I get sidetracked and then I just go next match. Like I don't do any more counts after.
We
4.
watched this on 2 sets. We watched this over 2 nights too.
Yeah. That's how bad my ADD got. I'm so sorry.
All right. 5th match: Simon Diamond and Johnny Swinger versus Monty Brown and Elix Skipper.
Who is nicknamed
Actually, I'm not going to say this is the best match of the night. I just really like Monty Brown. Elix Skipper was really good, though.
I was laughing at this because, like, I put Primetime did some cool flips. Alpha's ass keeps jiggling. Like, that was...
He does have a bubble butt. Anyways,
every time I saw him, his ass jiggled up. Like, it took so much away from the actual match for me because I'm like, that is a jiggly ass. How does he get that ass? I want that ass.
It's going to be the longest episode. I'm not kidding either. We're already at 45 minutes.
Woo!
All right. Mostly, the first, I don't even want to say half, 2/3 of the match was Elix Skipper fighting off the other two. Skipper showing off a lot of his really good agility and just ability. Hodge thing.
Oh yeah, he did a lot of cool flips. Oh,
There was a point where early on, Swinger tries to double team on Skipper, but Brown completely stops that.
that's what.
And then they double teamed Simon Diamond for a bit. Eventually, Swinger gets control over Skipper. Goes for the corner, goes for the cross body, and then Skipper does a really cool dodge where he just bends over backwards. That was so cool. Like Swinger, like man, they were like 2 feet apart. Swinger climbs the corner, turns around to jump to do the cross body, and Skipper just bends over backwards and dodges. It was awesome. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't, because I think Alpha's ass was on screen, and I couldn't.
Okay. He was just in the corner. I don't know what else to tell you.
It was on screen, and my eyes just went to it.
Then I would say Skipper gets beat up more. There's a point where Simon Diamond running down the apron tries to do a clothesline, but he hits Swinger instead because Skipper dodges.
I remember that.
Skipper hits a super kick on Diamond, hits a Northern Lights suplex, or hits a Northern Lights. Actually, I don't know which one was which. Hits the Northern Lights, tags in Monty Brown. Monty Brown basically overpowers them for the rest of this match. Hits his Alpha Bomb for the pin and the win. And then Truth runs down and attacks him. And apparently Skipper was setting him up. Even though he helped him win the match, it was just a setup for Truth to attack Monty Brown.
Okay, that's what I was super confused.
Yeah, Skipper just walks away as Truth is attacking him. He even does a thing where he uses his belt to hang Monty Brown on the outside of the ropes, just like he did with Hall and Norman Smiley.
Yeah,
I just find it fun. I find it funny a guy whose entire thing is that people are racist against him. He's out there hanging people, and out of the 3 people he's done, 2 of them have been black. This is weird.
But
I know that's probably not like the most PC thing to point out, but like it's fucking weird.
they're Uncle Tom. I'm kidding.
He did call Monty Brown Uncle Tom earlier.
He did. I forgot. I totally forgot about that.
All right, to the back. All I have written is fuck the Dups.
Mm.
Like fuck ... the Dups. Like fuck me and the Dups are here.
I don't think I even paid attention to this. I think I was on my phone at this point because as soon as I saw
I wouldn't even written anything else if it didn't lead into the next segment.
True, I hate the Dups. They are like the worst team. Like every time I see them, I
All right,
nauseous.
in the ring, they're fine.
Mm.
But the gimmick itself and the backstage segments with them are fucking horrible.
I don't know.
There's nothing about watching these two be gross, perverted rednecks with fucking like tobacco drool running down their bodies.
Mm.
Nothing about it is appealing or funny or edgy. I don't know. All that happens here is Bo basically convinced fucking giant British dude to come fight him.
I nicknamed British Undies.
And the only reason why we know is he accepts is because he rips his fucking pants off.
You know what? He could have a job as a stripper.
Sure. All right, next match was apparently not this match, or at least that's not what was planned, but it ends up being Bo Dup versus, and this is literally what Jeremy Borash says, some big muscle head guy from the back.
Okay, no, that's what
No, that's what Jeremy Borash introduced him as. The actual guy's name is Ian Harrison.
No, he called him that because that's what...
I understand it's because Bo Dup told him to say that.
Yeah.
But I don't think Borash was supposed to know who was coming either. Because it wasn't the scheduled match.
Yeah, so like it's not like he had any...
I know, but that part itself was the only part about the entire thing with the Dups that I actually found comical. All right. This match sucked. As I said, the Dups aren't bad wrestlers, but this match sucked. Bo jumps Ian from behind, well, stands on commentary making fuck all stupid comments. Maybe this is why you thought he was Australian, because he fucking started calling him Australian too and saying crikey a bunch.
You know what? That might have been it.
Most of the match is just Harrison in control, being a big fucking strong muscle dude. He wins. He wins via DQ because Stan jumps him. But they run away as soon as like Ian grabs one of their boards and breaks over the knee, and they just run away like cowards. It was enough. It's a nothing match, and I don't care. It's because of this and how disappointing the next match finish was that, like, watching it in two separate halves, I was so down watching it. But up until this point, up until we saw the Dups, I was actually high on this.
Honestly, if it wasn't for the Dups, I may actually have had a higher opinion of it. But almost anytime the Dups are in it, I just go, it's wah.
Want them to go.
I want them to go away.
All right,
too.
the back. Okay, because Ian Harrison left the guarding of the door in the back, because the entire point of this was that Ian Harrison was stopping TNA security. This is the whole story of the night. Was trying to stop TNA security from getting in to preventing Ken Shamrock and Jarrett from getting into it. Okay, so Ken Shamrock locked them in the back and had Ian Harrison guard it so no one could let them out. All right, so Ian Harrison leaves. Jeff Jarrett comes, finally. He unlocks the door. No, this is key. Apparently no one could get in and out of this room, apparently, at this point. This is what we have been told up to this point. Pardon me, I didn't grab a drink. No one could get in and out of this room, but Jarrett goes, he just unlocks it, walks in. Shamrock's in the room.
I love that.
He just comes out from security and jumps Jarrett in front of them. So Shamrock can teleport.
I told you, magic. That's how he got in.
I don't mind that he attacked him. I mind the fact that there was supposedly no way in and out of this room, and yet Shamrock's in it. That's so dumb.
And it's not like sunglasses.
That's so dumb.
It's not like sunglasses is the one that locked the room. Because if he locked the room, it would make sense.
But this gets dumber. Following this segment, going into the world title match, we are told that security also leaves. They're finally able to do their jobs, and they decide we don't want to anymore. They've had the entire night off. Practically. And then they just leave.
Well, this was before smartphones, so like they didn't have anything.
No,
they didn't have anything to do. I mean, I guess
as stupid as that is, it's still not. It's not the worst thing that ever comes out of TNA. It just makes little sense.
Oh my god, that's sad that's not.
All right, so after they break up, we have the world title match. They break up the fight. We have the world. Sabu versus Ken Shamrock. I asked the question because I think he's done this before. I asked this question because he's done this before. Why does Ken Shamrock come out for a title match without the belt? But to be fair, I didn't realize because they didn't really go over whatsoever what this match was supposed to be at all before this.
True.
That the belt was hanging above the ring.
I'm not gonna lie.
And that this was a ladder versus submission match, which to me indicates like one of them has to use ladder, the other one has to use submission. But no, and then this is their own fault for not explaining what this match was and what the rules were. No, the rules are basically to win, you can either climb the ladder and pull down the belt, or make your opponent submit. Everything in the last like 30 minutes just was confusing.
I'm not gonna lie. When we first saw the belt, I thought it was like a anvil. I'm like, ooh, that's gonna hurt someone when it falls.
It was the belt. I knew it was the belt right away.
I didn't.
Shamrock gets a lot of strikes and holds early on because he's gonna go for submission because that's his strength. It said it would have been really nice if they explained before this match started what the fuck it was and what the rules were. We find this was from the time we also learned security leave. There's rope breaks, so I guess you can be disqualified. I have no idea. As I said, this match just needed explained.
Okay, I have a question. Is Sabu a heel or
No.
a face? Or
It doesn't matter.
Tweener? Why?
Well, I mean, he's just right now. He's, I guess, a face.
Okay.
Closer to a tweener. Doesn't really matter, because like he's not on anyone's side besides his own right now.
He's chaotic neutral.
Yeah, it's just some exchanges in the ring. Eventually, Sabu goes for the ladder. Ken Shamrock does these like sliding drop kick to knock it into his face. They fight on the outside. They even go up to the dance cages and beat each other up on those.
Sabu gets thrown into one, hun. There's not.
Yeah,
really,
I know.
There's not really any beating up.
I'm just explaining the general course of the match.
Okay, fine. You be general.
Sabu starts bleeding at some point.
Is that staged?
I don't remember where he was bleeding. I do know he's bleeding. I do know he gets his back cut open.
Yeah.
When he goes through the table. Because he sets up Shamrock on the outside on a table. He takes a chair into the ring because he does this dive a lot where he jumps on off a chair, either into the corner or over the top rope or something. So he sets up the chair, he jumps off the chair, he does jumps onto the top ropes, does a like somersault out onto the table. Shamrock moves. Sabu goes through the table, and after that, we saw that his back was cut open.
Yeah.
This results in a holy shit chant. I'll give them that. That was fair. That was an awesome move. I'll be honest, Sabu has not botched anything in the 2 weeks we've seen him. That's really nice to see because Sabu is known for like falling off the ropes and shit quite a bit. See, Shamrock goes to climb to the belt, and this is when Malice interrupts, attacks him, and pulls down the belt and leaves. And so the show ends with no winner and Malice stealing the title.
And I'm happy.
Okay, my wife apparently doesn't understand that since Malice wasn't in the match, he can't win the belt. So he's not the champion. Shamrock is still the champion. Malice just has possession of the title. You do understand that, right?
I do, but he has the belt, and that, in my mind, means that he is the winner.
Okay.
Regardless of what it actually means.
Okay.
Remember, possession is 9/10 of the law.
Okay. The match itself was okay up to this point. Sabu's a lot more entertaining than Shamrock was. That's just because Shamrock's had a lot of just shit match.
Yeah, I don't like sideburns.
Shamrock had better matches in WWE. I don't know why his match in here sucks so much.
Because
But yeah, okay. What's your rating?
Really?
I want to know. I want to know because like we're going through over our notes can change.
All of it except for the Flying Elvises are fired. Flying Elvises?
Really?
Yeah. Flying
Okay,
Elvises.
no,
is
just the
a
overall
beast.
show ratings fired.
Yeah.
Beast.
Ugh.
Okay, I probably would have said fired if it was just the second half of the show, because obviously when we watched it, I was not. You remember?
Yeah.
But going over all the notes together, overall, I like the show a lot better. The last half of it would make it seem. Was really just the last two. Let's starting with the Dups in the last two matches. Basically, the last half hour of a nearly 2 hour show was just parts that sucked.
Yeah. No, I couldn't
And
get.
it wasn't even the wrestling really that sucked. It wasn't even really the wrestling and most of that sucked all that much. It was just the Dups really bringing down the mood, and then the fuck finish with Malice taking the belt and us not actually giving.
Yeah. The only thing that would have saved that is if the Flying Elvises and Stylus and Gerald Lynn had a longer match. If that lasted a lot longer.
Like here, like my negatives for the night: the Dups, just the Dups. I'm not going to even count the nonsense with the locking the security in the room. That's silly and stupid, but I enjoy it because it's fucking hilarious. How stupid it is. That's part of the reason why I love TNA. Some of the stupidity is so funny that I just love it. The ending of that match, the Dups, the ending of the match, and kind of just how slow the Apollo match was with Ryan Lawler. But outside of that, just overall, I liked it.
All right.
So I have to go Feast.
Yeah, I have to go Fired because the only positive I have of it, playing Elvis's and
TNA is gonna. It's a uphill battle to get a Feast out of you.
It's an uphill. Hey, what was it? The second episode was a Feast, and
I think you've given 2 Feasts, and I think I've given 2 Fire. Maybe.
And I think it was like one of them was the opposite of me. I think the second one was Fired from you.
Maybe. Either way, that was the July 24th episode of 2002 episode of TNA Wrestling. We'll be back next week. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you again for hanging out. We love doing this, and we would love to hear some feedback from you. So get down on it. Take care.
Have a good night.